LA to Vegas, the FBI, and Ronald Reagan are all on this day. Welcome back to On This Day. Today's date is January 2nd, 2023. Welcome to the new year, everyone. It is the second day of the year. We got 363 days left. It's the first Monday in the first week and the 13th day of winter. You got 77 days until spring. If today's your birthday, your birthstone is a garnet. Today is National Thank God It's Monday Day. National Thank God It's Monday Day encourages us to celebrate the first Monday of the new year with vigor and energy. That sounds exciting. Too bad 90% of the population kind of hates Mondays. For most of us, it's the day we go back to work after a weekend. And the reality is, not many people like going back to work after a weekend. Anyway, not only does this observance focus on the first Monday in January, but on every Monday throughout the year. Mondays are often full of new beginnings. New jobs often start on Mondays. Couples usually marry on the weekend, and Monday represents the first week of their new lives together. Many federal holidays take place on Mondays, so that's a good thing. Basically, this is a day to try and convince you not to hate Mondays. All right, let's see what else January 2nd has given us. 1900, American statesman and diplomat John Hay announces the open door policy to promote trade with China. 1942, the Federal Bureau of Investigation obtains convictions of 33 members of a German spy ring headed by Fritz Duquesne in the largest espionage case in U.S. history. It's also known as the Duquesne spy ring. Now, this one was pretty interesting. In February of 1939, a German-American citizen named William Siebold was visiting his mother in Germany. While there, he was approached by the German Secret Service, and they kind of came up with a plan and wanted to know if he'd help Germany spy on the U.S. He agreed, said he was all in. He was going to help the fatherland win the war and all this good stuff, but he went to the American consulate in Cologne, Germany, and told them what had happened and said he wanted to work with the FBI. And he did. The next year, he returned to New York City, where the FBI had things already. He was supposed to use shortwave radio to get information from spies that were working in the United States and then transmit it to people in Germany on shortwave radios. Well, the FBI set up their own shortwave radio. So Siebold would just collect the information from other spies, give it to the FBI, and the FBI would send to Germany whatever they thought would be fun, I guess. Basically, the FBI was giving Germany a bunch of misinformation while collecting information about what spies were looking at in the U.S. They eventually got Siebold an office where the spies would show up. The downside is it had a one-way mirror, the FBI was filming everything, and they had microphones all over the place. They'd get as much information as they could, and then they'd just send it to Germany. Over 16 months, more than 300 messages were sent. All of the spies pled guilty or were convicted. Between the 33 convictions, they were all sentenced to 300 years in prison, not each. Like, in total, 300 years were handed out amongst the 33. 1967, movie star Ronald Reagan and future president is sworn in as the governor of California. 1974, the United States President Richard Nixon signs a bill lowering the maximum U.S. speed limit to 55 miles an hour in order to conserve gasoline during the OPEC embargo. 1975, the federal rules of evidence are approved by the United States Congress. Premiered on January 2nd, 2018, LA to Vegas. This was a sitcom that followed the lives of a crew and passengers on a discount airline making regular weekend flights between Las Vegas and Los Angeles. This show was produced by Adam McKay and Will Ferrell. It was a great sitcom. It lasted one season, sadly. I thought it was great. It had Don Johnson in there, Dermot Mulroney, Dylan McDermott, and a young lady named Kether Donahue. God, I really wish they would have done some more seasons, but one season. That's too bad. Born on January 2nd, 1967, Tia Carrera, movie actress who became famous for her role in Wayne's World. She played Kate Parker in the 2012 film Collision Course. She provided the voice as Nanny for the Disney film Lilo and Stitch. At 17 years old, she was eliminated in the first round in 1985's Star Search. She got her big break on the daytime soap opera General Hospital. She hasn't really done much in quite a while. I mean, I'm looking at her IMDb thing, and it's a whole bunch of one episodes on this sitcom, one episodes on that show, like Blue Bloods, one episode, Family Guy, one episode, Hawaii Five-0, 2 episodes. In Plain Sight back in 2012, she got 4 episodes. Yeah, not much work these days. I mean, consistent, nothing big though. Died on January 2nd, 2019, we lost Daryl Dragon. You know who he is? You probably will once I explain. He was the keyboardist for Captain and Tennille. Remember that group from the 1980s, old couple? He sang Love Will Keep Us Together with his wife Toni Tennille. He grew up in a family of musicians and performers in which his uncle was a comedian and his father and brothers were both musicians. In the early 60s, he had started joining different bands and things like that, and him and his brother Dennis formed a studio band called The Mission. They would play background for different bands and things like that. He also went on to do a lot of things with the Beach Boys, and with Dennis Wilson, who was the drummer for the Beach Boys. Before he died, he released an album. Sadly, he was suffering from a neurological disorder, which his wife, Toni Tennille, came out in 2009 and kind of explained it to everyone, said it wasn't terminal, it was somewhat debilitating. Then later on, she came out and said that it had gotten worse and he couldn't play music anymore. Love kept these two together like their song goes, but I guess medical conditions couldn't. Toni Tennille filed for divorce in Arizona on January 16, 2014, after 39 years of marriage. Dragon stated he was unaware of this until he was served divorce papers. On January 22nd, he told TMZ, "I don't know why she filed for divorce." The divorce was finalized in July of 2014. Toni Tennille described her marriage as loveless. Dragon died on January 2nd, 2019 from kidney failure in Prescott, Arizona at the age of 76 with Tennille by his side. All right, that's today's video. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Hope you got some information out of it. Now go out, have a great day, and be nice to each other.